Hey everyone. So I actually just got out of the theater for watching the new Ghost in the Shell movie, and honestly, right now I'm sitting in a parking lot, so I can have a quiet place to talk where I won't wake up my family. So let's go. Um, so I first want to let you know I will be having a more in-depth video come out, probably at a later date, hopefully within 2 weeks, I hope. But right now I just want to get my thoughts out there. Sure, a little bit of just to get the hashtag relevant clicks, but whatever. Let's get into it. First off, I want to say that when I was driving to go see the movie, I already had a joke planned that I wanted to make. I was going to say that clearly a good anime adaptation is like a lefty's pitcher's mitt. It doesn't exist, but people seem to think that one day it might. Not the case. I actually enjoyed this movie, which I'm shocked by. Clearly Rotten Tomatoes is shocked by, as I think it has like a 62% or something. Now, don't get me wrong, this movie wasn't perfect. It had a lot of flaws. Definitely had flaws. Specifically those flaws in the philosophy behind everything, virtually non-existent, which obviously is a huge factor of Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, but honestly, apart from that, there was a lot that movie did right. I was amazed by the constant barrage of just like small details that only people who have seen the entire franchise would understand. Before I say something, put my foot in my mouth, I haven't seen the full franchise. I have seen the original movie as well as the first season of Standalone Complex, and I'm probably going to watch the second season before writing my full video analysis, breakdown, whatever. And I haven't seen any of Arise, so take that as you will. But yeah, whether it's the best part of the entire movie, Togusa has his mullet, which I was really worried about. But yeah, no, he has his mullet. That's great. His revolver looks pretty much exactly how it did in the anime. Bato was perfect. I mean, he was white and everything, but I didn't even notice that until just recently. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, he probably should have been Asian. No. But he looked incredible. Like, he looks like the best cosplayer I've ever seen. He looks like Bato. Exactly. At the beginning, he only had normal eyes, but partway through the movie, there was an explosion, and he got his cybernetic eyes, which made me very happy. Sorry about your eyes, Bato, but it's cool. Speaking about people being Asian, when I went into this movie, I was unsure about Scarlett Johansson as the Major because, well, fairly obvious reasons. But at the same time, I knew that it was something that had to be done. Without big names like that, the movie wouldn't have sold. With that being said, I was actually very happy with how her portrayal and actually how the writing of her nationality came into play. Basically, for the majority of the movie, she was majored like Mia Kiloin or something. One of those like a four kids name. It starts with an M and a K. But partway through the movie, you realize that actually, before I should say that, I should probably talk about probably the biggest flaw in the movie. The Major's entire backstory was entirely rewritten, which obviously isn't a good thing. Basically, in this one, she was fully cyberized 1 year before the events of the movie. And she's told that her body washed up after the boat that her and her parents were on were destroyed by terrorists. But partway through the movie, we learn that this isn't actually true. and that she was, in fact, a runaway from her Asian parents, which is cool, very Asian. They made sure to stress the fact they're Asian, and that her real name is Motoko Kusanagi, and she's actually Asian. So her ghost is Asian, and just the shell is Scarlett Johansson. I mean, I feel like that's the best possible way they could have handled the situation. Um, it being Scarlett Johansson really seemed to stink of some sort of like corporate decision. The agreement that, yeah, okay, we have to do this. There's no way around it, but we'll do this as an explanation. And you know what? That it satisfied me. I mean, would it have been cool to see a Asian play Motoko? Yeah, okay. This was a good way around it, and I'll leave it at that. Um, Also, they did a really great job at having these really iconic scenes that are Ghost in the Shell, and sort of replacing the context with the context of this film. Like the major falling off the building, turning invisible. That it was great. They had that, as we all knew they would. The geisha scene from the beginning of Standalone Complex, while yeah heavily modified, was sort of there. The battle with the I don't is it a think tank? I don't know. The spider tank, whatever. The tank at the end of the '95 movie, that was there. All this stuff there. The context was moved around, but it was there for the original series fans to see. I can't believe they didn't do that iconic shot of the tank with the tree in the background and the light. I was totally expecting that. Didn't happen. That was a bit of a disappointment, but whatever. But yeah, now that I've talked about most of the good things, because like I said, there was a lot. I did like the movie. I want to talk about the worst things in the movie, and that is it didn't have a fundamental lack of understanding as to what Ghost in the Shell was, as I thought it was going to. But it seemed like the directors understood what Ghost in the Shell is about, but chose to not dumb it down, but make it more mainstream. The philosophies that were in Ghost in the Shell were virtually non-existent. One of the reasons I say that I think they know about it is because there was an offhanded line by Motoko's mother that that her daughter used to have these used to go off on tirades and write essays about how the unification of man and machine was dangerous. We can lose our identity. How it's just generally bad for society. I laughed. My friend in the theater sort of gave me a weird glance. Speaking of which, I promised I'd make her a shout out. So shout out to Super Cool Clouds on Tumblr. Her name's Becky. I call her Becky. Her name's not Becky. Her name's Becky Babs. Not her real name. That's what I call her. Anyway, back on subject. Yeah, but it didn't understand. No, it didn't show the philosophies that made Ghost in the Shell and or Standalone Complex what they were. There was very little lack of understanding as to the melding of man and machine. Because obviously in the original movie, it's all about or specifically the end of the movie. Motoko doesn't know what's real or not. She doesn't know if her ghost is real. After meeting the puppet master, she realizes that for all she knows, all of her emotions are fake. All of her memories are fake. Maybe she is just a sentient AI. This movie doesn't demonstrate that at all. We have a little bit of dilemma as she doesn't really know if her memories are real or not. Hint, they're not. And we just don't have that in the movie, which is a shame. But that's all. All of the lack of philosophy is due to her. It's due to her change of backstory. Suddenly, she's brand new to cyberization. For some reason, she is the first. She's told the first fully cyberized android. Everyone else, they have the cybernetic prosthetics. They have the mind walkie-talkie thing. It seemed to me as though if they had said that the live action movie was set 30 years prior to the events of the 95 movie, I could have bought it. But no, it was set in the, when's it set? 2032? I don't know. I might be making that up. But for some reason, she is the first successful fully cyberized android. So the closest thing to the philosophy, the underlying themes of the whole movie, specifically regard to her coming to terms with that, questioning if she's really human or not, and it has its own philosophy, it has its own themes, but they're just different than Ghost in the Shell. They're a way more mainstream presentation, way more mainstream ideas. But yeah. I guess that's all I really have to say right now. Thanks for sitting through almost 12 minutes of sort of rambly nonsense. Like I said, I'm gonna come up with a fully scripted video. Hopefully within 2 weeks. Who knows? Maybe 4 weeks. I don't know. But yeah, in there it'll be less rambly. So stay tuned for that. And if you want to help support me in things, do so over on patreon.com/Senpizzle. Follow me on Twitter, the handle @Senpizzle. I don't know, other plugs that I should probably make. And that's about it. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.